Hello, everybody. Today on Sour Hour, we have the amazing Kris Wilson. You know him from Cyanide and Happiness. He has worked on other projects such as Purgatory, and they also have other bits and bobs coming up soon with a new video game. Woo! When is that video game actually coming?
It's not out yet. We are all geared up and doing lot check and everything. So coming up soon, we'll be able to give a very specific release date.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We've managed to make a adventure game where it's kind of the universe we've built through Cyanide and Happiness cartoons and animations and stuff, and kind of put it together. And we're really, really proud of it. All developed in-house as well.
Yeah, it looked really impressive back when, because you announced it. Was it about maybe 2-3 years ago now initially?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we started a crowdsourcing campaign through Kickstarter about 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it like coming up, and I was like, "Oh, right, great!" Like, because this is like back when, God, when trying to like think when you're trying to think where you were at that time, and you're like,
right.
There was like some connecting theme, but God knows, I'm looking forward to that. It's giving me some. It's giving me like a mix of South Park and Penny Arcade vibes, but with a lot of dark humor, which I mean, again, is like a perfect combination. So
right, thanks.
But
thanks. I think you nailed it.
But so like yeah, I was saying like with the aim of the like the podcast is to have you pick a particular theme that you want to run with. So like if you wanted to talk about fairies and. Not that you do, but but you pick the.
I'm really looking forward to talking about fairies. Please say fairies.
Oh, they just love it when they lift their tail up. Oh. But
that's actually really close to what I wanted to talk about. Oddly enough.
Oh yes, right.
I'm keen to hear what you said.
Yeah, should I bring it up now or?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, pick the theme for the and yeah, we'll roll with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of just touched a little bit on it there. For some reason, I felt like what I wanted to talk about is weird fetishes, fringe, strange fetishes. What are they? Where do they come from? And more importantly, what the fuck?
Yeah, in general.
Yeah. Hopefully that's not too risque.
I mean, completely unsensitive. I don't really give a shit what I say. So, I mean, I don't know. Tom's probably more restrained than I am, but again, we've talked about all sorts of shit. So this is nothing. It's like a pebble in a pond. So
perfect.
So, but yeah. So again, with weird fetishes. I mean, I'll start off on one just to get us going. Vor. Where the hell?
Yes.
Where did that come from? Like, who the fuck thought I like crawling in mouths and being here? This is like my house now. I'm gonna play the xylophone on teeth. Like,
I think I'm lost here. What did you say?
Vor.
Vor.
VORE.
Vor. Hold on, I'm gonna Google it quick.
I mean, I don't think you should.
We could, do an image search.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna jump straight in.
And then put X after it.
Well, I always had a theory I had theories where it's like, I think I could understand the starting point where someone develops something like that, maybe in their developing years, and everything about Vor throws that theory out the window.
There's no logic. Like
there's no.
I mean, like if you're in Skyrim and you got giants, maybe then you could put something together. But what kind of creature is big enough for you to crawl in its mouth? Like a hippo, but you would die immediately. It's not really not
exactly. And it's very specific to not being chewed as well. Like you have to be just kind of swallowed whole and usually even digested. You know what I mean? And that's part of it. I don't understand. I also feel bad for them because they can never really have that be satisfied.
It's like, how the hell would you you'd have to go to one of those like teddy bear manufacturers and just make the biggest fucking teddy bear ever and just sit in its mouth all day. I don't like, I want to know who the first person that was like, I discovered this, I like it. It's like, with like laser eye surgery, like where the hell did that come from? I'm going to shoot a laser in his eye and see what happens. Oh my god, my side is back. So it's the same.
Right.
It's the same kind of thing with Vor. I mean, obviously science was behind lasers and not so much for the Vor. But
No science behind vor. No.
yeah. But, have you seen it now, Tom?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've seen it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't quite understand what I'm looking at, but I kind of get the idea.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think it's a furry thing. I was like, oh, fucking, of course it is.
Well, there are crossovers of giant furry vor and furry giantess stuff.
Attraction comes from. Yeah, it's definitely like a mother-child thing, isn't it?
it's gotta be like
With that sort of-
suckling. Like,
Yeah.
There's a domination aspect
Oh,
to it, right?
yeah.
There's got to be like being powerless, kind of, and by a giant creature. It doesn't even have to be human. That's kind of the thing about vor. It doesn't have to be a specific type of human or animal or anything. It's just the act of being swallowed whole,
Yeah.
not chewed.
it crosses species and bounds and science. It's one of the most.
That's kind of like you guys. I'm getting my girlfriend to do it tomorrow. I'm
Yeah.
texting her right now.
Nice.
Do you think? You know what I think it might be tied to? So like people have foot fetishes. Do you think?
Right.
Do you think it's like a similar thing with like the mouth, and they just kind of like really into kissing like more than anything, and then they just slowly try and get the tongue further and further in the mouth, and then try and get the lips in there, and they're like, oh, this is good, and then they just
That's a
try
good theory.
try and get more and more in there, and then it's like, all right, I'm leaving you. I'm off to go jump in the dragon's mouth from Land Before Time, like
Right. Yeah, like that's a good theory that maybe it is kind of like mouth obsessed, but
Yeah.
from what I've seen and what I understand, it has so much to do with, I think it's a little bit of their idea of like how the esophagus or whatever would feel,
Yeah.
and it's more of the internal bellows of something
Yeah.
compared, like, not so much mouth obsessed like with foot fetishes. Another one that I don't fully understand, but I find it much more understandable than vor, since it's you do have an interaction with like feet, and
Yeah.
compared to giant monsters who will eat you, and it's an erogenous zone in a sense, and so
Yeah.
like I don't know if it's an obsession with the body part as much as the idea of a sensation, that enough people felt that way that the internet showed them that there are many.
I guess where like you could make some sense of it is it's kind of like what do you call it, bukkake. Is it just like that kind of like all over but with stomach juice, and that's kind of what gets them off?
Oh yeah, I bet you're right. I bet it does have a lot to do with the wetness, and and especially the way it's depicted. And like with furries, I do think that a lot of that, you notice how like furries are always depicted in a cartoonish way.
Yeah.
And I do think it has to do with the same way a lot of people into like anime porn, and then it leads to tentacles, and then they have a tentacle thing. I think that's kind of what furries do. They get it from cartoons.
Yeah.
Maybe assume that vor has some sort of connection to that, especially when you see it depicted so often in cartoon form.
Yeah, I to be honest, I could understand fairies more than a lot of other things, but it's like, because you got like,
Right.
what is it Lola Bunny, like Bugs Bunny's like sister, and like
Oh yeah,
and she was the perfect like woman shape that you were expected back, like, what was marketed to you when you were a kid, and you're like, that girl's hot. And then like you just apply like the anamorphic like approach to it, and then it's like, there we go. And then you've got like Final Fantasy have, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called. But they've got like bunny ears. They've got like bunny ears, and like Freya.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Freya in
From
Final Fantasy 12 has them, yeah, and like that kind of thing. They just add little things in. I think you slowly put things together, and then over time it's like, yes, you like animals now. Go fuck the animals. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have a brother who is a furry, and I remember the moment where for him, the trigger for him was the 1970s Robin Hood.
Oh yeah.
With-
What's her name?
Yeah,
the Fox Lady. Is it the Fox Lady?
Yeah, I think so. Let's
Yeah.
see.
But the cartoon,
Yeah, and it was like a
Disney
movie.
film.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
And yeah, with that, you also have this where you nightclub, and then the sexy wolf girl would walk in, and he's pounding on the table and his eyeballs are
Yeah, he's like,
dripping out.
woo! Yeah, and I played the exact image as soon as you were saying that. That's like, I think it's like a telltale of like how old you are if you know that one as well.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like back in, because that was Ellie, like Warner Brothers Hanna-Barbera days, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Or was it Tex Avery?
Oh, actually, I think it was Tex Avery. Because didn't Tex Avery go on and do Tom and Jerry? Did he continue on Tom and Jerry, or did he pass it off? I can't remember. I swear he had something to do with Tom.
I think they passed off Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
But yeah, the classic wolf banging on the table. Yeah, that was Tex Avery. And by the way, while talking about that, the character design in the Robin Hood, all the character animation was Don Bluth's work. And,
yeah, Don Bluth's amazing.
And he went on to make several of his own sexy animal cartoons, like Rock-a-Doodle. Sorry.
There's
yeah.
I can see so like there's so many things with like when you anamorphize like an animal into like give it human features, it just becomes like I can understand it. I'm not into it.
I can too.
Yeah, it's like what about you, Tom? Are you fucking cats and dogs?
Oh yeah, it's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. It's like I heard some like shifting and some like slaps in the background, so it's like dog just,
I still have a roommate, so he's
Yeah.
still up and about.
Yeah.
So
I could see.
I don't know. He might be fucking cats and dogs, but
I mean, Ollie, isn't it?
yeah.
Well, yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's just watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine in bed.
That's just a given with Ollie, isn't it? So yeah.
Well, you can at least understand that, like with furries, at least they have like human bodies. So at the end of the day, they are attracted to the human body of the
exactly.
whole thing.
Yeah, it's accents, isn't it? It's that little twist. It's like if a girl has like really big eyes, some people find that really like attractive. So like that's where I think that's where anime comes. I think that's where people's anime fetishes kind of come in, don't they? As well. Like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The over
They pick
exaggerated
like the
features.
perfect women, don't they?
It's like
Big eyes,
I mean,
big thing.
yeah, they pretty much make boobs 10 times bigger than they need to be, and bums, and they always seem to fall over, and their boobs tend to get pressed against the face and stuff. They must be so like sexually frustrated when they make anime. Like not all studios, but it's very evident, right?
Yeah, there's some sexual repression going on there, I feel.
Oh, yeah,
especially why anime is like so often wildly sexual and also shy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's supposed to be the Japanese are supposed to be the number one in like guys working 7 days a week, and passing out everywhere in the city because they're so tired. But they're expected to go to work every day and work like 9 hours a day straight, and then travel for 2 hours every day to get back home to sit up, have a meal, and go to bed and do the same again tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And imagine doing that. Yeah, and imagine doing that day in and day out just to go back to work and draw sexy anime girls.
Yeah,
jiggling
so imagine
all
where that
the
work
time.
comes from. Yeah.
Well, see, animation industry is like I think England's, America's, and parts of Europe pay pretty well, but it is the Asian side, like Korea and Japan, are very underpaid. I think it's something like I remember watching a documentary on it, and they barely make like a livable wage, which is crazy. So like some of them just sleep at their desks and continue working because they don't have an option, and that's shit.
That is shit.
Considering the amount of effort that goes into, I mean, you guys know already how much time goes into animation, and to put out as much as you do is like so time consuming. So you've got like a bigger team now overall, haven't you? Like compared to obviously when you first started dealing out the animations based off the comics and originals and stuff. Like
that's correct. When we were first starting, it was 4 of us, myself, Rob, Dave, Chase Siddharth, and then we had a composer in Canada, and now we've moved up to, we have 20 full time. Definitely know the importance of like, throw India get pretty poor pay and treatment when it comes to animation.
Yeah,
they're definitely part of it.
It's the same in the film industry with like Bollywood. Like if you're a Bollywood star, you're making dollar. But if you're one of the people behind the scenes that does all like the editing and stuff, you barely get anything. It's
right.
Yeah, I think it's the creative route, isn't it? I think the creative industry gets screwed almost everywhere. Like if you want to do anything creative, you've got to be really good, really persistent, or you've just got to cry a lot and get it out. Like,
it's true.
Yeah. So I've got animation stuff to do, but I just do it really gradually because I don't have a lot of time, so like trying to get it done, I'm like I appreciate the effort that has to go into it all, and also I'm like I'll take my time with it and just fund myself slowly but surely. But yeah, crazy time. But on the note of like fetishes and back to animation, have you ever heard of what's it called? And this is like a very strange one, Futurami or something like that. Is it Futurami?
I don't think so.
I don't want to Google it again because it was very weird. Is it Futurami?
I guess it's my turn to do the weird Google.
I think I'm getting its name wrong. Weird.
What's it about?
It's basically.
I feel like I know what you're on about.
It's basically 3D. It's 3D models with strap-ons just fucking each other, and some of them actually have dicks and stuff. And it's like, what?
Oh yeah.
It's like, what is this? Oh yeah, that's my weekly.
Yeah, you just reminded me, man. I have not been masturbating to that for so long.
I'm masturbating to it right now.
Yeah, I gotta catch up.
Yeah, I've got 2 mics, one for downstairs and one for the upstairs.
Just gonna really get that sound in stereo.
Yeah, it's just gonna cut in and go. Like, whoa, what was that? Oh, helicopter outside, it's putting out the fires. Oh,
yeah, they're just dumping a lot of water from the helicopter onto the fire. Don't worry about it. Sorry about the noise.
Keep pouring that water. But so I guess like on the fetishes, Tom, do you know any ones that are just rather peculiar that you've just seen where you're like, what?
You know what? I'm fucking boring. I don't know any fetish. I'm so mundane and beige. I'm the basic white guy.
It's always the beige ones that have the biggest repression.
It's always the beige ones. Yeah. Yes.
Beige in the streets.
Beige in the sheets, trust me.
Beige in the sheets. Okay, just checking.
You're true.
I like to be treated right. That's a real good fetish of mine.
Yeah. So you like to be dominated. Yeah.
Yeah, the fetish of blending in and being invisible and mundane.
It's perfect. You fit into society. No one suspects a thing until you're masturbating upside down in the toilets. Like, Tom, what are you doing? It's not what it looks like, I swear.
No, wait, you didn't see this. I'm normal.
I swear I am. Look at my Bible. Oh God, I don't know.
Was that the word though? Was it Futurami? Was that the term for that?
I thought it was, but it's not coming up, so I don't even know what it is. I'm kind of glad I don't, because
yeah,
like
I know what you mean though. They're usually like I know them from bad porn ads, right? Like
yeah, that's basically where it comes up on like a website in the corner. You're like, oh, what the hell is
this
that?
Game? You gotta try this game. You won't last 4 minutes or whatever.
And it's like, watch this girl's dick spin 10 times. I bet you can't watch all of it. And you're like, what the hell is going on? It's like, this isn't.
I'm just getting Futurama porn.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
I find that it's called Futuranami. Futuranami. Futurani. Yeah, it's a very peculiar one, and it comes up on like porn sites all the time. It's
okay.
Yeah. It's I don't get it. It's kind of like you're like, what are you trying to say about me? You know, when you see a weird advert, you're like, oh,
right.
I didn't come here.
I totally agree. You imply that I'm into that. Well, I better make sure I'm not.
Oh shit, he's right. Yeah.
Yeah, damn it. It got me again.
Every time. First it's Vor, now it's fairies. Now it's oh god. I've had it up to here. There's only so much a man can jack off in a day.
Yeah. And then, fit that into your 7-day work week. And try it.
It's hard. It's a balancing act. In one hand you've got work, on the other hand you've got your dick. It's just too much. Yeah, it's a toss up.
Yeah,
like literally.
I was scarred away from ever enjoying something like that because of a mod for Skyrim put on at one point. Yeah, it was just this overall graphics mod for all the women in Skyrim, and it made it so when you remove all their items, they'll just be completely naked, and they'll look, I'm pretty sure they probably use a lot of game engines for some of that stuff. But then I couldn't uninstall it, and I couldn't get it off. I couldn't make it so there were piles of naked people, and so I'm definitely scarred from it ruining my Skyrim install. So I can never get into it.
That's like class. This is like Fusara out of his dick. It just must be weird. Like I think even like naked characters going around, and even the giants are like, oh fuck that. Like it's like it just walks away. Like no, please leave me. I've seen enough.
Yeah, well we need. Yeah, I just need that Vor mod for Skyrim. And then I'm good to go.
I can guarantee that has been done, like to some degree. There's a mod for everything in like Skyrim. I mean, you can get you can get Skyrim on anything. Like you could go downstairs on a 20-year-old microwave and you can play Skyrim on it. It's just it's everywhere. Oh yeah, God, they must have made so much money. I mean, again, some mods charge as well, don't they? Not all of them, but some of them like you can pay for. And I think, God, the amount of money that, like you're saying with like these like naked ones and these porn-based ones, they've got to be making so much money because there's so many horny teenagers that were like, I want to walk around naked like a lady, and
exactly. I want the boobs to be bigger all around. And well, they can't charge for mods because that's just how illegal that is copyright wise, and they usually get taken down pretty quickly with that. But it's all donations.
Yeah, actually, I remember that being a thing because I think someone tried it early days with like the Steam library, and they got taken down by Bethesda. Am I losing my marbles?
That's right. Yeah.
Right. I was trying to remember it then, like because I miss good Bethesda because they're not very good anymore. They're not. They lost it with, I think as soon as they took over Fallout and they started trying to do stuff with Fallout, they lost kind of their track of where they were going with a lot of these games. And then they just, I mean, I think Fallout 3 was pretty decent and New Vegas was probably the best one. And then I agree. And then they did 4, which was, I think I stopped. Oh, sorry?
Oh, yeah, I was just saying, I think 4 was fine, but it was just kind of tonally different and just kind of completely different in weird ways. But I thought it was all right.
Yeah, it wasn't like a bad game. I think like literally the only reason I stopped playing it is there's like a place and you can go and it's got like a baseball theme to it, and you go underneath it at some point and you basically tell this robot to dig in the wall, but the robot was stuck in the wall. And I couldn't dig, so I reset it, and I think I'm the type of guy that I know people. You got two types of people with these games. You got people that have like a million save files for every step they do, and then there's people like me, the idiots, that have 3 save files. I remember that because I couldn't load up the save file and get past that. My earliest save was just after starting the game. I was like. I can't go back and do all this again. I've come so far, so I ended up just stopped playing it. But it did have like appealing effects. I like that you could build your own like settlement. That was really fun.
Yeah, I was into that. And then I thought that Bethesda did a great job with Doom 2016 as well. And then they did manage to fumble on the follow-up there.
Eternal, is it?
Yeah, Doom Eternal. Their composer who won them all the awards for the last one quit because they messed up all of his music and sliced it around and compressed it and changed the songs that he wrote, like changed what order what parts were in, and so he said he'll never work with them again.
Yeah.
But going back to Skyrim again, real quick, that reminds me of where dragons play in fetishes.
It's like a fairy bridge, isn't it, with dragons?
Yeah. It's never dinosaurs either. It's always dragons.
Don't they call them scalies or something?
Yeah, scalies. Yeah, the dragon lizard version of furries.
Isn't it just basically Florida?
Yeah, exactly. All the reptilians there.
Yeah, lizard people drinking the waters.
Oh man, it was a tough choice. I was like, I either want to talk about weird fetishes or I want to talk about weird conspiracies, because I love talking about both of them.
I mean, why not?
Some of them cross over.
I mean, why not both, right? We're good down to it. Just the general aim was just to steer, to have the guest have the control of the conversation. So I mean, Tom, are you down to go into weird conspiracies?
I have no idea where to go with that.
Yeah.
I was literally, when you on your previous thought there, where you were on about dragons and such, going into like fetishes, like instantly it was like, oh, the slut dragons from Rick and Morty. I was like, that's definitely come from something, right? And as soon as you mentioned it, I was like, there's got to be something backing here. So I'm literally on that hype at the minute. But they're just called slut dragons. There is no fetish behind that, apparently.
That's a really good episode.
I'm actually quite disappointed there is no actual like fandom to slut dragons. It's just slut dragons.
Just slut dragons.
Such a lazy
name.
They
to save time, they've just been calling them dragons, and the slut is implied.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about
that. They like it's that one's so common to the point where if you go into a sex shop, you'll more often than not run into like variations of dragon dildos and things of that nature. And it's this made up crazy shape every time. I guess we didn't have enough, old authors or anything describing a dragon's penis very well. So you can just kind of be abstract with it. I don't know how they make the molds for those, but I'd picture they're just screwing. It's like pottery where you just kind of screw it up and keep going.
I think Squaresoft could make a good amount off them, like Square Enix, because they could have like a Tiamat one and a Bahamut one, Bahamut Zero, like all the old Final Fantasy dragons.
Oh yeah,
like people will be all over.
And I'd buy it up. I would.
It would be funny. Just like, I don't know, you're just that much of a Final Fantasy fan that you have to have it in your collection. You've got all the games and the merchandise, and you have to have these fucking massive dildos on your like shelf. Like it's a true fan.
This is my collector edition box set next to my Bahamut dildo. And there's my Leviathan dildo. Much more elegant.
Yeah, I've been using my Leviathan dildo as a placeholder in my book, so I know where I'm at. Like,
they're bookends. So hold up all my strategy guides.
Yeah, front picks up like, oh, what you been reading? Like, all right, never mind. I don't want to know what you've been reading. God. Wait, this is on the note of like this. There's a connecting. I feel like everyone wants to create like a mythological or a kind of made-up fetish, because there's on the note of the dragons one. There's this. I think it's a fetish. Sorry. Slut dragon, sorry, yeah. There's this whole thing with witches at the moment. Have you heard about that?
No.
I don't think so.
So, it's fucking crazy. It's like, it's a mix of conspiracy and fetish and just people thinking they're witches. So they're on like Twitter, and I can't remember what they call themselves exactly, but they all go out and they perform like rituals and stuff and hex people on Twitter, and they just gone into this world where they think it's like Harry Potter. And again, because they think they're witches, other witches are going to get together and there's going to be a witch porn, because it's just a natural byproduct of any kind of scenario where you have something that's not normal. Yeah, like it just it's a weird time we live in. But yeah, the whole dragon fetish reminded me of that, and that's definitely got to be a thing. I think people, it's escapism, isn't it? I think that's probably
big time.
I think that's the overall arcing theme. If you don't like video games, you like to fuck dragons. I think that's the overall.
Yeah, you only have time for one.
Yeah,
choose wisely.
It is. Yeah, you got to flip a coin, and see what you get.
Yeah.
Sometimes life is just,
It goes back though too.
Sorry.
I said it goes back in time too. Like there's lots of paintings and what have you of very weird fetishes that
really?
still kind of ring true today. Like, yeah, like especially when it comes to like having sex with demons and minotaurs and stuff.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, succubus and the incubus. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that might have become like I wouldn't be surprised if something like a succubus or an incubus started as someone's sexual fan fiction and then became folklore afterwards. Or people are like, oh, that sounds scary, and they're like, what? You think that sounds scary? I thought it sounded pretty hot.
It's because again, like the succubus and the incubus, they all take human form, don't they? So it's like another thing where everything seems to come back to, let's just humanize everything and see what happens, see what people like. Might just start a porn website and then just like see like CGI models of things and just like pick like a rock and then turn it into a woman rock and then see what happens. It's like, what do you think? And get the metrics, get it all together, get the Google ads in place, you're a millionaire.
Yeah, you'll get there's someone who's gonna hunger for it and not realize that until they find your website. I'd love to see like just normal office supplies or regular everyday items, but then just give it a sexy body, like a mini fridge.
a curvy mini fridge, yeah.
Bikini.
Yeah, a magnet bikini, yeah. Like...
Oh, that'd be great. I love that. Okay, that's my thing now.
I think like we're gonna start a little project here, get rich quick, right? Yeah. God.
I'm gonna take all that money and spend it. I'm gonna just invest it more into my own fetish for office supplies.
What do you think if you made like a human? So like you got the female form, and then you put that as the head on a female form. Would that be like the ultimate porn? Because then you've got two forms in one form. Mind blown?
I'm so sorry. I dropped out for that at an opportune time. Do you mind repeating that?
Yeah, no problem. I thought maybe it's not as good as I thought. It went really quiet. I said, what happens if you got a female's body and then put it as the head on the female's body? So it's like the ultimate combination, because everything has to have a female's body or like a male's body for like the opposite sex to be attractive. So if you doubled it up, like you would have tits on the face of I can't even work it out in my brain, but is that it? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I could work it out.
Yeah.
I think I'm picturing it. I like the meta woman.
Yeah.
Meta fetish.
It's kind of like a self-referential woman. It's yeah. We've gone down the Inception hole. Is this a dream? What was oh god, there was a it was to do with fetishes, and it was like another really peculiar one. It just came up on Reddit, because obviously Reddit's got all sorts of weird stuff. Oh god.
Oh yeah, that's
god damn it! I can't.
Place where fetishes were born.
Pretty much. It's weird. Have you ever seen like Mario porn? Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's like the Simpsons porn. I think was the first one you ever saw online as like a cartoony thing, and then hentai.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Are those the ones where you see on like ads for porn?
Yeah.
Right.
Like you go on porn and it's like off to the side and you'll see like Marge get fucked.
Yeah. It's like,
Marge and Lois from Family Guy. They're together.
It's like cartoon porn. Like that's like another one you can understand, because it's the same kind of vein as like I feel like it's the same vein as obviously it's the same vein as anime, because it's exactly the same thing. It's I think people just get so
Pornhub classes it as a different category, so I don't know where you're going to go with that. I'm just here for the information.
I was like, let's have a look. Do you know any other weird fetishes, like off the top of your head?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, going off, like going away from the actual human form, and you'll still like there's dendrophilia, where people just love those trees. They love them a lot.
Oh, Jesus, yeah, I've seen that. Oh, I watched a documentary on that. There's it was like
Really?
it was like, well, it wasn't just trees. It was like bridges, like people getting married to bridges, and like people getting married.
Oh yeah,
to post boxes
There's a
and stuff.
yeah. There's a guy who married his car to a ghost.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, it was like, oh, I got fucked by 50 spirits and I got married to one. I was like, what? It went from like one extreme to the other.
That'd be so awkward for the ghost who has to still associate with those other ghosts.
Exactly.
But he's the one who
Right?
married her.
Last week on
It's like, yeah, I'm tied down to this realm and I'm tied down to my wife.
I feel like these things only happen to Americans, though. Like, imagine like finding true love in England, but not in the human form.
Right.
That doesn't happen over here. I
think
like
you're
it just
right.
happens in America.
There's the woman who married the Ferris wheel, and that's also in America.
I saw that. It was like a proper officiated, and wasn't there like friends and family there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, how can
Only
you
on one
watch that?
side of the family.
Yeah.
I don't think the guy who built the Ferris wheel showed up to that.
I thought he was going to make a joke then, saying like, yeah, the teacups and everything turned up, but yeah. Not her family. Yeah.
I'm running on fumes, so you can be quick with that one, man. Great.
I got in there. Yes, get in. But yeah, there seems to be. It's just yeah, it's inanimate objects. There is like another name for it as well. There's ones where people like attracted to balloons and stuff, and they just like get naked and roll around in balloons, and they get off on it. It's like, how...
I told you not to film me.
Sorry, it's out there now. His address is what was what was the
There was a show about it. 'Cause I swear to God, there was a guy who married his car.
Yeah, there's a guy.
Yeah, and like there was just a scene with the dad, and the dad was there, and then the son was just sort of like, he just has to accept the fact that I love my car. And like, that dad really wants to fucking top himself right now.
It's got to be so like there's definitely mental issues there. I mean, when you get to the point of like cars and stuff, there's definitely some underlying issue that you're either repressing something, or there's just wires aren't connecting correctly, because it's just like yeah. I mean, the car's not anamorphized.
Anthropomorphic, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait there, I'm just gonna find out if he's American or British.
I think there's a British one as well. You know, I've seen one with like to be honest, there's probably someone in each country that wants to fuck a car. They probably got like a union.
Right. Yeah.
We all know that you want to fuck your Volvo. Okay, just get over
it. Well, yeah, like yeah.
Oh, it's American.
Is he American? So, yeah, I think you're right. I don't think I've seen an example of that outside of the U.S.
That's what it's called.
Well,
right.
Sometimes it's just like, it's not even a thing that they do. I think sometimes it's just to get on TV. I think it's just one of, there are so many people that want to be on TV, and I think in America the whole fame game is a bigger thing, isn't it, in general? To get rich and famous is huge. I mean, people do it over here, and we have like some absolute like just imbeciles over here. There were people licking toilets over here, during the coronavirus and stuff, and then like on a plane. And you're like, what is wrong with you? Because they put it up on their TikTok. So I think it is like sometimes there definitely got to be people that are attracted to things like that, because you've got people.
Yes.
I mean, there's stuff like, what was it? I know it's not like a fetish, but there's people with like, you know what Pika is?
No, what's? Oh wait, Pika, like the disease.
Pikachu porn.
Yeah, it's like Pika is like where you like eat dirt and stuff, and like eat drywall and that, and that's like it's like
that's not Pikachu porn.
Not Pikachu porn. I'll have a Pikachu, yeah. But
no, there's plenty of that.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. There's got to be. I've seen Misty getting plowed on the sidebar so many times. When you just go on a website and you're like, all right, Misty.
Sidebar.
Yeah, like when you're on like a site and you get like
exactly, yeah,
yeah. And it's just like Misty getting plowed by Ash, and you're like, oh, Brock. You're like, okay,
right.
It's like just remember.
Like Brock doesn't have it in him.
Sorry?
I feel like Brock doesn't have it in him. I think he's got some social issues.
Yeah. I think he's trying to make up for something with his onyx, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like if in the Pokemon universe, it's probably harder to be a furry within the Pokemon universe when they kind of talk to you and stuff. Like,
do you think he also like Brock likes rock Pokemon because he can't get hard and it's the only way he can?
Or he likes it hard.
I don't know who did the animation. There was a.
Is it Egoraptor with the
It might have been the Egoraptor one, the Poke Awesome one.
Yeah, that's Egoraptor.
Right. Yeah. And the animation about how he gives the badge to Ash, and he just sort of like, oh, I'm gonna put it on display. It was like, oh wait, no, I gave it out of charity, like because you helped me out. That was it. And then he's just there fucking his girlfriend.
Yeah. You like me now?
Right.
Yeah,
that's the one. His voice for him, man, so good. Well, you brought up a lot of things earlier that, like you mentioned that for some, there is the nature of reality TV as well, where they do make you embellish and amp it up for everything, and they set things up for you. So My Strange Addiction, I wouldn't fully write off or trust. I wouldn't say that people are doing it totally to get on TV or anything, but I also wouldn't put it past them either. But I think that there's, like what synesthesia is.
Is that where synesthesia is? Is that to do with senses?
Yeah, it's where your senses kind of cross, and it's kind of a bypass in your brain to get information. So, like, if a color, you look at a certain color and it gives you an idea of a certain flavor. That's synesthesia.
People can smell colors, can't they, and stuff.
Right. Yeah. And it's super common. And so I imagine there's like a bit of a sexual synesthesia happening there, or like a romantic synesthesia, like their senses crossed over to something else.
That does make sense, to be honest. Like, I mean, like, I want to know what these synesthesia people. Do you know what Venta Black is?
Yeah, the really deep black color.
Yeah, I want to know what they think when they see that. Like, what did they get? Like, what did they smell or taste, or depending on which ones get crossed. Like, they look at Venta Black. Like, I just it'd be great just to have like a VR, almost like a VR headset, but for those type of senses, just to kind of get in the head of that, because it is really interesting, like how that can happen.
I wish I had synesthesia that some people have, where they it really helps them with music, because they'll hear a note and it'll make them think of a color or think of a shape, and they'll be really good at memorizing notes by ear and
for association.
Like
that. That's really cool. Yeah, I would I'd like to have that. It would be what would be try and think of ways how that would be really detrimental. Like, like, I don't know, like anytime I don't know, anytime you looked at someone's you looked at brown, you just smelt shit. That was literally it. Like, any brown colour you ever see. So when you're walking out in the woods, it's like, oh god, it fucking stinks out here. Like,
it would be. Yeah, it'd be so unavoidable and kind of in your head that there's no getting out of it.
Yeah,
I'm certain. And you also brought up earlier the toilet licking thing, which brings up a very, very particular type of fetish that I don't understand, because it has almost nothing to do with sexuality. But if you're familiar with bug chasers,
bug chasers,
they're a type of people who get aroused by intentionally getting diseases.
Yeah, I actually read about that the other day. I didn't think it was a thing, and I was like, really? Like, it's like,
what?
Yeah, it's a thing. People go out and they'll go just try and get any illness. They'll sit next to people. They'll, if someone sneezes into a tissue, they'll get a tissue out the bin and smell it or rub it on themselves and stuff. They'll do any. It's so peculiar. I mean,
I'll do anything for 2 weeks off work. I'm out there.
To be honest, that's all of us as kids in school, isn't it? Really, get anything to get out of it. So, but I mean, just tell them to go get bit by a rabid dog. I think their opinion might change of that that lifestyle very quickly when they're
Or they'd love it and they'd just not go to a doctor and enjoy the stiffening up.
Yeah, and the jolting and the nervous breakdown of their internal system. Lovely.
Right. I don't know about you guys, but I never went out and got HIV to miss school, but that probably would have been a really solid plan.
You should try it.
Yeah,
I would miss years.
Life changing, It's taken years off. It's taken years off my life.
You could have gotten so much done, taking years off. Got all this free time now.
Yeah. Only 2 years to go. Come on, coffin. Yeah.
I don't see it being like a big thing in America, but over here, yeah, like I mean, it's not great healthcare, but we get healthcare for free, so
yeah, it's
right. I guess in America, where you have to pay, I guess it's kind of like 50-50.
Well, America has a really good healthcare system if you can afford it. Like, it's one of the best.
Right.
But again, like, this is like the trade-off, isn't it? You have to have money to have a good system, but you also need to kind of balance it out between the people. And like, like a problem over here, like in the UK, is you can take forever to get seen to. Like, you could you could have a leg missing and say, oh, come back in 3 weeks, and then we'll have a look at your leg.
Yeah,
like
right,
like literally the only really case is if it's like it's like a proper emergency. They'll see you like immediately, like going in cardiac arrest, or your lungs have collapsed or something, or your legs backwards.
Right.
They'll probably see you then. But yeah, if you've got like you've had like a migraine for like 9 weeks, which is probably a sign of a tumor or something pretty bad, you can be waiting a long time to see, and like sometimes people like die because the cancer's progressed in that time. Like it is like a shit trade-off, but then again, on the other side you have that whole thing, don't you, where you can't afford to pay for it, so you're just gonna have to sit there and just wait for it to kill you. It's like it is so hard to balance shit like that. How did we get to this?
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Well, bug chasing.
Oh yeah, bug
chasing. In a lot of ways.
I mean, it's only responsible, isn't
faster.
it? If we're gonna talk about like real dark shit, I mean, we've got to talk about like the health reasons. I mean, like, these people are going to end up in hospital one way or the other. So
yeah, someone is going to listen to this, and then they're going to get a dragon dildo lodged the wrong way, and then they're going to need to know what is ahead of them.
Oh shit!
Yeah, here in the States, it's faster and more expensive, but which can be good in some ways. Yeah. But then when you have really small general things, it can still be very expensive. Like there's people who will go over $1 million in debt because they had a premature birth, and then their baby's in the hospital and they have to pay for all that. Yeah,
it's like you have to pay for the bed and for the IV and for everything, don't you? I know it's like I think it's like $1,000. It like depends on state, but I know it's about like $1,000 to get an ambulance somewhere, isn't it? So people just go and get lifts by Ubers and stuff instead.
Right.
Which is like sorry.
If you say you have a scare, like you have a scare and you go to the doctor and the doctor says, no, you're fine, that'll usually cost you a little over $700.
Wow. That's like, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, again, like I hope for like, as long as there's some kind of like health insurance in place, it's it's at least the start to help out with stuff like that. It is, it's always a trade-off. I mean, I guess no matter what though, if you're one of these people that go around and get diseases for the sake of it, doesn't really matter what system you go in. If you've got rabies, good luck.
Yeah, I'll wait this one out.
Yeah. But yeah, God, it's such a strange thing, bug chasers, because I really didn't think it. I just don't get it. Is it just like someone else is inside me? Is that kind of mentality?
There are people who feel that way. Yeah, they feel like they're a host, and that's kind of part of the sensation. Yeah. And then they spread it without telling people, and that's part of it as well for some, where they're giving their children, for a lack of a better word, longevity by passing it on to someone.
Yeah.
And so it can almost seem it sounds like a supervillain, honestly.
It kind of does, yeah. It's like, oh God. Fuck, I could try to remember this. It's not even a show, right? Have you ever had? I mean, I'm going to go a bit of tangent, but it will connect together. Have you ever had like a really weird dream where you've actually it's so real that you've either thought it's real life, it's a TV show you've watched, or it's a movie? Have you ever done that?
Yes.
Right.
Like a vivid dream.
Sorry.
Like a vivid dream.
Yeah, like a vivid dream, but it sticks with you. So obviously, because you remember certain dreams. So like,
yeah,
this like whole thing a second ago, I was trying to think when you were saying about like a supervillain, like spreading like diseases and like poisoning the water supply and all that.
Yes, go my babies, go.
Yes, it's time. Fly, fools, fly. And you have this like I had a dream when I was like a kid, and there was this evil scientist, and he was basically he's getting eggs from chickens, and he was injecting them with like poisons, and like the orange bit in the middle, the what's yolk? Yeah, yolk. Yeah,
albumin. Yeah,
the albumin. Yeah, it was green, so obviously you could tell something was pretty off with it. But what he was doing is he wasn't packaging them up and putting them back or selling them. He was pumping these eggs into the water supply, and he was poisoning people's water supply. So it was coming out in people's taps, and people were just drinking it as if it was normal. And I don't know why, like, my brain thought that, oh, this is understandable, this all makes sense. And like I just remember like the superhero busting through the wall and saving this girl and stuff. And I just remember this villain being really evil, and I got so tied up to it. This was literally a second ago why I thought I was thinking of a movie. It was a goddamn dream.
Have you seen the movie where the evil Dr. Egg gets thwarted, from his poisonous eggs in the water supply?
Scott Dragon.
It's weird how dreams can make sense to you, and then like you think about it and you're like, that made absolute no sense. How did my brain process that and think, oh, this is normal, let's put that up there in your memory and see how it goes. Like
it's as if your brain visualizes something so quickly that your brain understands it's there afterwards and says, oh yeah, that's there, it must be real, it must be normal.
Yeah. I think there's like parts of it, right, that are obviously real and based off something, and then you have that like one dream that connects these two things together, and it's like, we'll put a staple there and those two things are forever bound together. And
exactly.
It's like
that's synesthesia. That's maybe how fetishes come around.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, foot and mouth. Like, I mean,
yeah,
foot
and mouth.
Not the disease. Fetish. Yeah, not the disease. Yeah, the fetish. Yeah.
Lucid dream, not vivid dream.
Yeah, lucid
dreams. Correct.
Oh, I went on a tangent there. I was trying to think of that for ages. I was like, am I right? And then just completely missed what you said for the last 5 minutes.
Don't worry, it wasn't really that important. It wasn't really important. You're not going to have an exam at the end of the week saying, so on this dream, what happened with the man with the eggs? Did he poison them or did he eat them?
I very much would be not surprised if you did that, though.
Yeah, I mean, I want it on my
desk. I got a questionnaire via Discord.
You got.
I'd expect that.
Yeah, yeah. So I need the answers on my desk by Monday. So yeah.
That'd be the hardest test to take. I mean, with how many times you could have a dream that it could be even maybe not super lucid but impactful, and then you forget it just maybe 5 minutes after being awake.
Yeah. Oh God.
And then you gotta take a test.
It's like also I want pictures of Peter Parker. I mean, I meant to say Spider-Man. So, yeah, I want pictures of you. I want pictures of you, Peter Parker. I've got. He's got. What's his name in Spider-Man? The old guy.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah. He's literally he's just got a fetish of Peter Parker now. That's the. It's canon. It's canon after this Discord call. I'm gonna call it.
I actually made an animation about that very topic when you mentioned it, because it involves him. Spider. Well, it's kind of Peter Parker's giving him photos of Spider-Man, and it's pictures of Spider-Man's abs and him like leaning on cars and stuff.
No way! I actually did a comic with the same concept. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, like it was like pictures of him naked, and then he was like pretty much like splayed out like the guy from have you seen the South Park episode, the BP guy? And he's like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
He's like that. He's like splayed out in front of like a thing, and he's like, bring me my moisturizer. Like, that's pretty much it. But see, great minds think alike, mate.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's cosmic.
That's class.
It's a little cheers.
I don't think I've seen that one. I've watched so many of like the shorts and everything over the years, but I don't think I've seen that one.
Right. Yeah, I'll send it after this podcast.
Awesome. Yeah, if you would, that'd be class. Like,
yeah, send me your comic too. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
and one of the best things about, like, because when you're working on animation and everything, you see so many versions of it before it's out. And one of the best things that can happen from my perspective is forgetting that we made one and seeing it, and it's the closest thing you can get to seeing it for the first time again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, like whenever there's like, oh yeah, there's this one moment. Yeah. There's finally that little window to see how good or bad it is.
It's kind of nice now and again, to like rediscover stuff that you did ages ago. Like sometimes it's really bad because you're like, oh god, why did I do that? And then sometimes you're like, if you're still laughing at something that you created, or it's giving you the same vibe, whether it's like a creative thing, it's kind of nice. Like,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's like, I need to find. Have you ever gone back and looked at your old art books and stuff? As like a kid when you obviously had no concept of how to draw, and you just like, what?
Oh yeah. Especially, I still have some of the ones when I was very first trying to take drawing onto Photoshop and stuff like that. Yeah. Aside from that, a lot of drawings I did from old sketchbooks and stuff from being a kid ended up in CNH in one way or another. Sometimes it was full comics even. And it's almost like celebrating, even if they are bad. It's like celebrating how bad they are.
No, it's good. It's like to see how far you've come, right? You can see that the work has paid off. Like from where you were then, you have like a memory associated with your first comic you ever did, where you might have been like at uni and you were doing this one thing, or college, and then like now when you're like, oh holy shit, I used to draw these like back in like when Facebook first kind of came out. I used to draw like these almost chibi characters but with goofy ass eyes because I thought it was funny. That's basically it. And I did like one for pretty much every single Naruto character. Did like every Dragon Ball Z character, and I did one every single day for goddamn ages. And I look back at them, and like I clearly didn't understand color at all. It was just like really bad color, and I every time I look back at it, I kind of want to go, you know what? I want to redo these again and just delete them and kind of say, oh, this is no, they were always like this. What you want about? No, I've always been.
You just want to go back and retroactively fix them all.
Yeah. You know what it'd be really cool to do? Set up like an Instagram account, right? Like an art account or like an animation account or something, and start with your best one. Like just do the best thing you could ever do. Like put all the effort into the first one, and then just progressively just get worse at drawing. So like it's like a reverse of what you should be doing, so that people following you like, is he getting worse?
Yeah, he's not doing them faster. Yeah, but they're really much harder to make out than they were.
Yeah, it just gets worse. It just goes down this spiral where you just put like a line on a piece of paper and upload it, and you're just like, there we go, end of journey. Like,
yeah, my best one yet.
It's like it's such a gimmick that you probably could like get a big account off it. It's some of the stuff that it's like there's not like a fetish, but people like strange things just to follow these days, don't they? In general, like, do you know who How to Basic is, don't you?
Yeah.
Like that's such a. I mean, it's hilarious. It's like funny. That's
it's amazing.
Why it's still going strong, in my opinion. Like as long as you don't binge a lot, as long as you don't binge a lot of them, and you just you get your dose every now and again. They're always kind of funny, but I think that's one of these YouTube channels that's a mix of people that really like it and people that kind of get off to it, because it's like he pretty much covers himself in egg and sauces and shit, doesn't he, and puts his feet in stuff. So I think he picked a really kind of good market where he just hit this mass appeal, right? Like maybe.
And it's a crazy thing that could only exist on something like YouTube. That's one of the most fascinating things about it. Like you could never show that in any other sort of framing.
No, not at all. Yeah,
people would like or enjoy, but these like loud kitchen smashing shit posts that are these videos, like there's something so pure about it on like how how it's possible that this could not only exist but persist.
Yeah, it's I kind of miss, you know, when YouTube started out and you used to just get shit. They just called shit posts, weren't they? I think they were called shit. Were they called shit posts? Yeah, and
you're probably talking about YouTube poops. Probably.
Yeah, YouTube poops. So like 99.99% of them were probably awful, but you got like some now and again that were just like really, really funny. And I was just like,
there were some amazing King of the Hill ones I remember.
I don't think I saw many King of the Hill ones, but I know like obviously Bobby, Hank, and was it Dale? Always get changed into things like that, because isn't Dale the one that's like bang ding dang ding dong dong ding dong? Oh
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. They're such interesting characters. I think that's probably God, there was so much Dragon Ball Z poop, like so much.
Oh, ton.
Because it was in the days. It was on YouTube when it started out. It was either you watched that, or it was you would just get AMVs, FMVs, you know, like anime music videos, fan music videos, and that was pretty much 99% of the stuff. And then you got people like Smosh that would come along, and that was what a cool time.
Right? Yeah, it's like I consider those like YouTube poop and how to basic. Like what I love about them is they're kind of anti videos.
Yeah, they're just.
There's nothing to understand or follow through. You literally just watch it and wonder what the hell, how did we get here?
Yeah. I think there's it's just that appeal, isn't it? You just sometimes you want to watch content that's really planned out and it's really entertaining. Sometimes you just want some random shit, you know, cheer me up for a couple of seconds. And it's like if you just subscribe to all of them, you can just press play on your play all, and then you just go through you can steam through it, and you're like, there we go, I'm good. Don't know anything that happened in the last hour, but it was funny.
It'd all become a blur. It is kind of like a dream in video form, especially YouTube poops.
Well, it's what came first? What did Newgrounds come before YouTube?
Oh yeah, Newgrounds started I think like 96, maybe earlier.
Yeah. Oh holy shit! Because I think. Yeah, it must have started like super early because obviously you needed a Flash player, didn't you, to use YouTube? And then Flash came along first, so holy shit! Like now I feel really old.
Yeah, 1995. Well, yeah, I mean, wow. Hey, we got our startup like from Newgrounds. That's how Rob, Dave, and I met, and like same with Smosh, same with Ego Raptor, and it's kind of cool that almost everyone that we were when we were kids and kind of talking to them on the Newgrounds forum and on messengers and stuff like that, everybody who was in these animation communities, almost all of them went forward and still do animation in some form.
Yeah. No, it was a big spawning point. Yeah, there was so many people. I mean, what's his name? He was a Disney animator, and he moved to Newgrounds.
Adam Phillips.
Yeah. Oh,
Adam
God.
Phillips.
What a talent.
He's now he's a huge talent. Probably like, yeah, I remember when he landed on Newgrounds, everyone's like, what the fuck? This guy's way too talented for this. What is going on?
Yeah,
and
that's my
he
fault.
is now he's the animation director for Bob's Burgers currently.
Wow. That's class. Like, I mean, again, I'm not a fan of Bob's Burgers, but that's an achievement,
Right.
Oh, God damn.
And it's like you can see like so much of the fluid animation when they're dancing around and stuff, and you can expect that Adam had something to do with it.
He's working on a game as well, isn't he? Actually, I think it's a game. I remember him posting stuff. I follow him on like I think I follow him on Twitter. I follow him on something. I see him post like little updates every now and again. But God, I don't know how many he has the time. Like working on Bob Burger.
I haven't heard of a game. I know he's been working on a feature-length Bitey of Brackenwood, and I know he came out with a little kind of almost nature documentary kind of mini episodes.
Yeah, that was it. It's not a game. Yeah, he was learning 3D because he wanted to rig stuff because it made it easier, for him to animate, to have these environments, so he didn't have to. Because he does crazy, 3D pans, didn't he, in his old Brackenwood stuff? So you by hand, and you're like, holy hell, this one guy did this whole like 3D pan. Even Disney had problems with that back in the day of like the what was it, the chandelier in Beauty and the Beast. Like that was like baffling for them. And this guy can just do it like nothing. Crazy. So
it's insane.
God,
huge talent.
What animators did you grow up with, Tom?
You put me on the spot there.
Yes, tell us everything.
Shit, wild times. I didn't actually, because I didn't actually grow up in England. I didn't really jump into the whole YouTube craze until I was actually back in the UK until like 2013.
Oh wow.
So, my first run-in was like secondary school, I think, and it was still Google videos back then.
Right.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, that must have been assault on the senses.
So I didn't really bother with anything until I came obviously to the UK, and it was life was a bit different.
Yeah.
Simpler times.
So when I say like animators, I guess all I could say was the shows I watched. But even then, it was still just the usual, South Park.
Yeah.
Pokemon, Digimon. That's about it.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up with. I actually grew up with American TV, kinda, because we had like military bases in Germany, and most of them were like NATO based, so they were American based. So all of them had like Fox. I didn't grow up watching Fox News, so don't worry about it. I'm pretty left wing, but I grew up with like Power Rangers and G.I. Joe.
What generation of Power Rangers did you have, though? That's the biggest question.
Oh, shit, man. I had Power Rangers Lunchbox. It came on every Tuesday, and it was all 5. I've forgotten 3 of them, but one of them was like Samurais, and one of them was like the OG. The one that went on to do like, what was it called? Sludge.
Ooze.
Ooze, that's the one.
Yeah, Ivan Ooze from the movie. Classic.
That's awesome.
OG Power Rangers, mate.
It's like I just think it's so telling of like like the era of like when people grew up. It's like what yourself, like Chris? What did you kind of like grow up with, like animation wise? What was your like kind of introduction with it?
Oh man, I mean, I've been watching animation like I don't know for as long as I can remember, and my parents never really like filtered or worried about bothering of controlling anything that I was watching on TV. So I was like initially I was watching, as a maybe 3 years old, watching things like Brave Little Toaster, and some old Popeye cartoons I had on VHS, and all sorts of stuff. Rockadoodle, watched Rockadoodle quite a lot, and things of that nature. And then I got more and more into animation and actually drawing and learning it and stuff. And Don Hertzfeldt was big for me. Mike Judge, Beavis and Butthead, South Park was obviously huge. Saw it when it premiered and kept watching it.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
and and then just the internet. Redefined it. Joni Vasquez as well with Invader Zim, and
classic.
His comics got me really interested in comics in general.
His style's so cool.
Right, yeah, it never misses. And that new Invader Zim movie turned out actually really, really good.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like because they did just before that, the Rocko's Modern Life movie came out, which was a bit disappointing. Yeah. Like I thought it was all right, but it wasn't like it didn't deliver. I thought on like the Rocko kind of feel, because it was a very adult-y thing for a kid to watch it, to be honest. But that came out, and then the Invader Zim movie came out, and I found it really funny. The dad, the scientist dad, made me fucking laugh my ass off. What did he says something really stupid in the movie. I'm gonna have to watch it again now. You reminded me, but sorry. Continue. You sent me off. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, I love talking about how great these things are because I enjoyed them. Yeah, Invader Zim, the new movie was excellent. Yeah, and then got into animators, like Aaron Hansen.
Yeah.
Egoraptor and everything. Adam Phillips as well, of course. Rice Pirate Mick, Psychic Pebbles, Chris Oni, all because not only like some of these people you meet and then you see their animations. In some ways it's the other way around and stuff.
Yeah.
And so Newgrounds was like just huge for me when, especially from like the ages of like 11 to 13. And that's when I would started learning to animate. I taught myself how to animate starting with Microsoft PowerPoint and moving on to Flash.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a little easier to go from PowerPoint and trying to make that work to Flash. It's like, hey, Flash is actually really easy and there's tons of nice tools here. This is not going to be as hard as I thought. And from there I started, and people would have websites where they'd want to host animation, and they would hire someone like me to make cartoons for that website and put it up on Newgrounds and draw people to the website, etc.
Yeah, like albino black sheep and stuff like that.
Yeah, big into albino black sheep for sure.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah. Another big thing that I love, even though they didn't really animate it, but those Fensler Films G.I. Joe cartoons where they dub over the PSAs.
Oh yeah, there was Futurama actually did a joke on that, didn't they? They had a because they were known for like dubbing over to make things like nicer for kids, just when they were actually a bit more kind of like gory and a bit more adult than they needed to be. Is that what you're talking about? Is it like, was it?
I'm talking about they would take the footage from the PSAs at the end of a G.I. Joe cartoons.
So you mean like an online community?
Yeah, this was kind of it was a series they made that was going around like E-Bombs World and stuff like that, and they're so like nonsensical and quotable that I really loved them as a kid. If you haven't seen like the "Hey kid, I'm a computer, stop all the downloading" and all that stuff, they use the actual G.I. Joe logo, which is a big no-no. So they got a cease and desist.
That's ace. I'm gonna have to check that out. Actually, I mean, the internet has a log of absolutely everything. So,
oh yeah, you'll find all of them.
Yeah, I think it's like anything you put online stays online. Like it will never disappear.
Right. Yeah, they were a real big deal at the time. Like they were all over the place, and I know you. I'm pretty confident you'd be able to find them all.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go on a bit of an adventure like tomorrow and have a look for them. Because I thought you were talking about there was a show. Sorry, I think the G.I. Joe show like censored its own stuff because Futurama did a spoof on it, and I think it's based off like fact. This is what I thought you were talking about, and they it's in one of the latest season. It's like Nixon having to go over it because people were complaining that it was too adult for kids. So you go over there, and when like an explosion would happen, he would be like "kablooey," over the top of like the explosion sound, and like when someone's on the floor and they're like screaming like I've lost my fucking leg, but he's going like ouchies. And he's just putting these things over the situation, and Nixon just kind of gives up.
But that happened. Oh, sorry, if you don't mind. There's a G.I. Joe movie that has my favorite example of that.
Yeah.
Because Cobra Commander throws a snake into the chest of Duke, one of the main G.I. Joes, and the snake pierces his chest, and he's obviously dying on screen, and everyone's cradling him and saying, "No, Duke!" And then someone off screen, as soon as he goes, it says his last words and nods out. Someone off screen says, "Duke's in a coma!" Yeah. And then at the end of the movie, when they defeat Cobra Commander and all that, someone off screen again yells, "Duke is coma!" And it's amazing. Apparently it's because just before that movie, the Transformers movie came out, and Optimus Prime died in it, and it was very controversial. So they tried to write it out.
That's amazing. Oh God, some of the old like shows and old movies that were just trying to target kids with. Because there was this whole phase, wasn't there, where they were trying to get people interested in the army, the navy, like the Air Force. Same in like the UK, they did things in like shows to try and attract people. And obviously G.I. Joe is like a big, it's a big like military kind of like advertisement. Like, look how cool we all are. And it's like, again, it might not be the appeal of it, but I know the government like shows like that, so.
Yeah, they do. They endorse them and usually provide funding. Especially the G.I. Joe toys. I mean, those were the biggest toys there were before Barbie came around.
God, that's they were like because in the UK we didn't really. I don't think we got GI Joe. We got Action Man. If you,
Action Man,
yeah.
He's like Action
shit.
Man, the greatest hero of them all. Like,
Yeah,
that was like.
I remember the PlayStation 1 port game. That was great.
Yeah, he had some good stuff, but yeah, it was oh God.
But again, it's definitely like there's an agenda behind that.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Action Man. Hey kids.
You're not fooling me.
Hey kids, do you want to stop being pussies and join up to the army? Come today and meet Action Man in person. He'll sign you up and take away your liberty. Action Man, the greatest hero of them all. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was good. He was big over here, and we had like Stretch Armstrong and like your Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Obviously, Batman, Spider-Man, and there was just. I mean, Batman, Spider-Man. Obviously, you're not going to grow up and be a superhero, so they're not really appealing to anyone unless you're a Batman and you want to be a billionaire that fights crime. Maybe.
Maybe you could be a bug chaser, get bit by spiders purposefully, make sure they're radioactive. You might be able to get it.
My boner is radioactive. Oh.
Yeah, I was always perplexed by in the UK. Didn't they censor out Michelangelo's nunchucks from the Ninja Turtles?
I think he had them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he had them. I don't know. They did censor stuff on the UK version.
You sure?
Yeah, they did censor stuff. I know they were for stuff like that in Australia, so they might have done the nunchucks in Australia. Because I mean, Australia.
Oh, okay.
There was a point where Australia didn't get anything, so if you wanted a video game, you probably won't get it. They had
I think they banned pretty much most of the violent stuff before anybody else.
Yeah.
I think they were the first people to ban Manhunt.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't even get Barbie horse racing over there. It was that bad, you know.
What game?
Too violent. You got to whip the horse.
Yeah, it's like. But yeah, I think that's probably what it is. But again, I know we did censor a few things in the UK. It's strange how like censorship varies so much from country to country. Like Japan will put plastered like naked anime girls on like billboards and stuff, and it's fine. But if you show a penis, like that's the end of the days. Like it's game over. You can't show like a penis in a movie and stuff like that. It's not allowed. I mean, again, it was still like very taboo in like other countries as well. But you did get like English and American movies that showed full frontal nudity and like sex scenes. Like it was just part of, depends on like the movie, but over there like you still can't, there's been like no move on it, but you can do anything else. It's why they do the tentacle thing. It's because it's like a representation of the penis and they can get away with it. So that's why that's why you see it's legitimately the reason behind it. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool, but also look
the steps they have to take to make context out of that. Like, we just want tentacles, so how are we gonna make that?
And now we're back to fetishes.
Yeah.
See,
full circle. Here we go.
It went full circle. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know, but yeah, God, I really do miss on the older animation like He-Man. Did you ever watch He-Man? Because
I never watched He-Man.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah,
it's hilarious.
Grew up a little bit different.
Yeah.
Right.
I was gonna say
I didn't end up watching He-Man until I was in my 20s, but it's enjoyable the same way the 60s Spider-Man cartoons are.
Yeah. The
more you guys speak about like all these animations, I'm like, I kind of watched that as well. Spider-Man, remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, remember all these animations.
They were
Golden
Age. Sorry?
Golden Age.
Golden Age.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to remember Golden Age. I'll have to Google it. Like
it ain't fucking now.
Golden Age. When I think of Golden Age, my brain just goes to do you mean the Golden Age of like animation?
Yeah, I meant like in your life, like
right.
when you were
right, okay. I thought I was talking about a show, and I was like, Golden Age.
You just Google that. I was like, wait, why is he googling it?
I felt bad because I was like, I know a lot.
It's just a metaphor.
Yeah, I know what you mean now.
It's like memes. Like we're in the golden age of memes right now.
We're in the golden
But
age
animation, I feel like it was definitely for me Spider-Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. But like the 2002 era animation style.
Where it was slightly cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's so sanitized now, isn't it? Like a lot of line arts just become so unbelievably crisp. Like again, it's still nice on set and like shows, and it does work with certain styles, but it's like everywhere, especially with the Cal art style. Like the Cal art style is like everywhere. You can't. I mean, I look behind me now, and there's a Cal art character looking at me, blinking. Like, you know, it's that widespread. But there's only exceptions, like for certain things like Gravity Falls is a good example of a really good Cal art style, but it's been stylized enough to be different. But I think
they had a lot of that on like what was it called? Cartoon Network, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I forgot about Cartoon Network. that opens a lot of doors. We're on a whole different spectrum right now. So when I was of age, when I was watching cartoons and stuff like that, when I was a young boy, it was, what was it called? It was like Cow and Chicken and Cat Dog,
Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah, stuff like that. And then when you go to watch like your nephew's little birthday, and he's like 3, and he's watching Cartoon Network, and it was like
diarrhea seeping out someone's ass.
It was wild. It was like that. What the show you just mentioned a second ago. And it was like, whoa, we definitely grew up in different times.
Yeah. Gravity Falls. Is that what?
Yeah. Stuff like that. It's a little bit grotesque, and you don't get it when you're a kid. And maybe I thought the animations when I was younger were a little bit grotesque and adult-like, but I didn't really get it.
Yeah. I mean, you must know what Ren and Stimpy is, right? Do you know Ren and Stimpy?
Who, me?
No. But I mean, like, I figured Chris would definitely know. I just think, like, Tom, do you know what it is?
Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah,
definitely. The beaver.
Yeah, the beaver and like Powdered Toast Man and
It's like the 90s, right?
Yeah, it was.
There's a cat. It's a cat and a beaver.
Sorry.
It was a cat and a beaver.
Was Stimpy?
Close.
What was Stimpy was a cat and Ren was like a mouse, right?
I thought Ren was a chihuahua.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was a chihuahua. Yeah, shit. Because that's what.
I just remember it being like this really skinny, big-eared, and then beaver-looking dog thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neither of them look like animals.
like the Tasmanian devil without the ears, and then you've got the Tasmanian's penis, but it's like got its own body. It's sustained its own mind.
It's like his style was so good, cartoon-wise, but his style of how he handled his life wasn't very good. No,
it's not.
The same voice actor did Dexter's Laboratory as well.
Yeah, it's Billy West that does the voice of Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah. Definitely the same.
Yeah, he's
in everything.
Yeah, Billy West is what a legend.
Yeah, he's incredible. Dave currently has he received a gift from one of our head animators. It was a signed Ren and Stimpy poster from John Kay himself. Now Dave really doesn't want it because of all the John Kay stuff that is surfaced.
He's basically a giant sex offender pedophile.
I knew it.
Yeah,
he was grooming girls and letting them work for the animations and dating them and stuff, like very openly.
Yeah. Again, like it comes back, does it? Like you can like the art, but not the artist, and it's like that's one of the biggest statements of all. I think he's a good example of saying like, yeah, he was an amazing mind, but he was also a very fucked up mind. So like him for the good parts, hate him for the bad.
You shouldn't really enjoy art, even thinking about the artist a lot of the times. Like if you hear a song and you enjoy it, probably just enjoy it instead of wondering if the artist is nefarious.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's hard to move past. Do you know Lost Prophets? Have you ever heard Lost Prophets?
Oh yeah,
I
know the band. I know the sentence. Everything. Yeah.
Oh god, so I met them in person as well, which is weird. When I was young, I think I was about 17. So I think I was just I was too old. That's still crazy. I haven't listened to a Lost Prophets song since that day, and I used to love them. It used to be so good, and then like. Yeah, and a Shinobi. Yeah. Oh god.
Are you guys on Newgrounds often now? Then
we like, yeah, as far as a user, definitely. But we don't submit our animations there anymore. Actually, when we started making our animations and putting them on Newgrounds, people were kind of a little upset because we were getting into the top 50 pretty often and easily, and they saw that we're a group of people, and they found that to be a little unfair, especially a bunch of people who are animating and doing everything by themselves and stuff. So we started pulling back. And not putting our animations up there just for, I guess the respect of it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Have you guys heard of John Dilworth?
John Dilworth?
Yeah.
John Dilworth. No, I haven't.
He does this thing back onto that sort of Cartoon Network sort of golden era of like animation. He does this thing called Reanimated.
Isn't he the one that does? He's the guy that did Courage the Cowardly Dog, right?
Yes. So it's the reanimated version.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, like, if you go into Newgrounds and you type it in,
I have seen that. Version. I think that was his Courage the Cowardly Dog intro he redid that I saw.
Yes, and it's absolutely incredible.
It really is.
Directs it, I think, this time around. So it's the Fred. Oh, wait, I'm going to quickly. Yeah, Freaky Fred reanimated on Newgrounds.
I have seen that. He must have spent so much time setting that up. It's like set up the shaders and the lighting and all the shit that has to go into doing what he did. It is the 3D. It's 3D, isn't it? Is it 3D?
Yeah.
It is the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, God, like it's so.
But it's like different styles. It's like 15 different styles of animation into one sort of sort of thing that we all sort of remember. But it's like it's like a 5-minute clip, and it's 10 different styles of animation. There's 3D. There's like stop start, clay animation and such.
Yeah.
You guys know a little bit more than me, but yeah.
It's part of Newgrounds. Newgrounds will do that where they it's everyone joins in and stuff. So it is a new animator every few seconds. It says here there's over 120 animators involved in this.
Wow.
I love that. Yeah, that's how you get such a variance of style and takes on it, and people just being like, some people will do shots super incredibly accurate and they look so much like the real show, and then other people will do a piss take on the show stuff. And it's they do animation collaborations like that. I think Newgrounds is working on an Among Us one or something like that.
They just finished finished the Final Fantasy one. Phantom Arcade was heading that one, which was really good. And because I think Oni chipped into the end.
Oni's bit, Oni's bit was by far my favorite too.
It's like I to be honest, I didn't like I appreciated the animation for most of it. I really liked Phantom Arcade's one. I've got a big soft spot for these like improvisational bit, where it's like, is it him? I think it's him, Jeff, Johnny Utah, and Spaz Kid in 3D, Corey. And that part was really good, but Oni's one at the end was just like, what a good way to close it off. It's like, not gonna lie, dude, it's kind of your fault.
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of your fault. Just bummed out, getting shoved down on a snowboard.
It's just so funny because it's so half-assed, but it's so goddamn good. Have you seen that, Tom?
Say again.
Have you seen that? Like Oni's the Final Fantasy collab, but Oni's bit at the end.
No.
Oh, I'll link you to it after. It's fucking funny. What was you saying about? You were saying about a collab. Sorry, Chris.
Oh no, just the Newgrounds collabs, and they do that fairly often. I think the next one coming up is Among Us or Fall Guys or something like that. I can't remember, but I'm glad to see that those are still breaking the surface. And like, people are seeing them a bit more widely than before because they've done them for a while.
They've
to be honest, we're very much shut-ins.
Sorry?
I said me and you, we're very much shut-ins.
We live off the computer. But I like it's the same thing like Newgrounds. I grew up and I remember early days. I have some really old animations that I'll never put up online. Because they're so bad. But I remember going onto the forums on Newgrounds, and being like, can anyone do this? Can anyone do that? And everyone would it was such a collaborative like environment. Like I still don't think there's anything quite like it. Everyone really does like to work together on that platform, and it's just I wish it had more exposure.
Me too. They're trying to get Newgrounds to be able to be a
competitor,
more in an ad broker kind of situation like YouTube is, where they can pay animators and stuff. And they've been working on getting there, and now they allow video as well. It's not just Flash files or anything like that.
I saw the other day they updated the video player, so like now you can scrub through videos and stuff and that. And they've been updating all sorts, so it's kind of good. I hope they do, because I would love. YouTube doesn't have a competitor like at all. There's just no competitor to YouTube. Like Vimeo's the closest thing, but you have to pay for it. So it's just I'm all for that. Again, like I pay for like, you know, the subscription thing you can do on it.
Right, same.
Like it's
the
just,
premium.
Yeah, premium. Yeah, it's just like it's a little bit you can do, but again, if enough people do it, it's like you can shape that website into a competitor, which would be obviously like class for everyone. Again, like it's like sorry.
Oh no, sorry. Sorry, I just wanted to interject that if there's anybody out there who's struggling with YouTube and how YouTube works and how YouTube changes, there is kind of a competitor. All you have to do is submit to Pornhub. Maybe even some Dragon Vor fetish stuff. But you can Pornhub will absolutely partner you and pay you for ads on your videos, even if it's not pornography.
Really? They're like really good?
Yeah.
Oh, on the note of that, actually, you've just reminded me. On the last podcast we did, do you know who Matt and Rosner is? Hot Paper Comics.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
so actually, he wanted me to say something to you. He wanted to say, he said to ask you why you don't love him, and
what?
then why won't you love him?
I'm heartbroken.
He was basically he put a thing up on Pornhub like previously, and if I recall, I'm pretty sure it did I'm pretty sure it did it well. He did it as like an advert on Pornhub just to see what would happen and who could see it and stuff.
Right.
It's just like, so it must be like, I think he said he got like a good reaction from it, if I recall. Do you remember, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he got a good like reaction from it. So it's left me curious now. It's make web comics about fetishes and put it up on there, and then just do really lazy, you know, tweened animations and see what happens.
Right. Fun. Yeah. Well, honestly, like even Pornhub comments and stuff like that, like they're usually pretty funny in general, and it's not very judgmental in the way that YouTube is. I've made it a plan to because sometimes we make animations knowing that YouTube is going to have none
problems.
Of it. Like I made a animation where it was just a bukkake scene, but it was a bunch of flowers around one bee that's in the center, and they're just pollinating all over. And I knew immediately it was gonna get demonetized on YouTube, so I was like, but it'll be perfect for Pornhub. So
that was what I was actually going to ask you about, that, like, because you guys must get striked so often with your animations, because you're obviously dark humor always gets hit hard, just on pretty much any platform except Twitter. I think Twitter is the only platform that I can think of where they're like, just post whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't really guess the weather with digital media. No. And we've been doing this for, it'll be 16 years that I've been doing CNH in next month. And so we've ran into this in all forms, whether it's like publishing books or Google Ads eventually was their algorithm was taking their ads down from our website because it would try to read what the comics say. And so we've been fighting all of that for a long time, and there's ways to do it. You just got to try to keep a little updated on how websites change. They change what they find to be too far constantly, and what the rules are. You can there's no clear line.
You can actually do with like comics, if you didn't want them to read the adverts wise, you can actually create a blank comic, and then what you can do is you can create divs and overlay it over the image with the text in it, so it's no longer in the comic, but people see it in the comic. And because the way like the website, you know, these kind of like adverts analyze, they can see the words on the page, but they analyze the image specifically. You know, that's kind of the job. They take the I think they take the metadata, don't they, from the image, and they basically recreate it in an instant and go, right, this is this word, let's get rid of that, boom, and that's how we do it. But if you put it as a div overlay, websites should be able to pick up it. Like, it's a good way to get around it.
Yeah, I can see that, but they wouldn't be able to take the comic and just share it very easily, right?
Oh yeah, that's
like a viewer.
I guess actually that's a very very good point. You just get a blank comic with nothing in it. You just give them a meme template, don't you? Basically, then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when they wouldn't allow hot linking, and you'd try to share an image, and it'd be like, "Oh, hosted by Angel Fire," instead of showing the image.
Oh, God,
or what have you?
Is Angel Fire still a thing?
That. I don't think so. I think that died a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember like literally 99% of the websites you clicked on Google were like Angel Fire, and they were down because the hosting couldn't. They just couldn't afford to host any websites anymore because they let everyone put it on it, didn't they?
yeah, absolutely. I think it just got too big, and then people lost interest, and they, like GeoCities.
Yeah. Oh,
ran out of
GeoCities. Jesus Christ, that was the era of just you can put anything on the web, anything at all. I mean, which was obviously dangerous for the stuff that you could get on there. It was basically the normal web was the dark web at one point. Like there was just a point.
Yeah, it was. I like that everyone at that point, everyone on the internet was kind of aware of what the internet was. And, it's gotten a lot softer and bubbly and more user friendly, which is good and bad.
Yeah, it's got its pros and cons. Yeah, you do miss out on some censorship. Is the worst thing I think that's ever come to the internet. I mean, again, it's good for certain reasons, like for kids and stuff, but not so great for creators. Like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, right, but like, I'm not sure, like, something as vast as the internet, if you can just make it okay for kids. I think you just need to have stopgaps in place.
Yeah, you gotta have some way to stop people, like seeing it in the first place. Yeah, it's oh god, like, it's like one of the worst things. I mean, you guys probably get it a lot as well. I've been shadow banned God knows how many times by Instagram, but like for your comics on Instagram, do you just get them pulled down and removed a lot?
Yeah, fairly often, but it's like sometimes it comes in waves too, where all of a sudden 4 or 5 of them are taken down, temporary ban, that kind of thing. And there's no indication on when or why, and so
yeah, I get the same thing. Yeah, it's like
kind of a shotgun approach.
It's like cutting off your arms, and you wake up in the morning and it's like, oh, we cut off your arms. Why? And then you spend the rest of your life wondering why.
I can't remember.
I don't know. Fuck it. What was bought?
I can't remember, but arms are allowed again, so here's your arms back.
I have a fetish. Just leave me alone, yeah.
There is an amputee fetish, for sure.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? That's like...
Yeah.
Is it the nubs that get people off? Do they just look like boobs or bell ends? Like...
I would guess that it has to do about dominating.
Yeah, maybe.
In a way, it's a human. A human you can manipulate.
Yeah, I can't imagine like a human that looks like a starfish is very appealing. Like it just like just.
Well, the Patrick Starfish porn I've seen say otherwise.
You're right there.
Yeah, that's the spot.
There we go. Oh, Patrick. Yeah.
That's good.
Cheers, thank you. It's like this is like one of those things where when it goes back to what Tom was saying, where we're just like recluse shut-offs, sit in the room and do voices and watch shit online. That's the true life.
Right.
That's the true life.
Yeah, I mean, I've been living the same way for the most part. I guess something that breaks that up is just doing a lot of comic conventions and stuff like we do. That's some of the only way of drinking some culture. Yeah,
get some social interaction and also copious amounts of diseases. Like
right. Like that... that's what we really need.
Well, it's like, isn't it like I don't think I was meant to go do some cons this year. Obviously it didn't happen because Corona.
Right.
But the like everyone that I know that goes to them ends up coming home ill, like every single time, especially like creators as well. Like, so
absolutely.
I imagine you've been to I don't even need to say imagine. I know you've been to God knows how many, so you must have suffered through quite a few illnesses.
Yeah, it was kind of, you'd plan for it. Being in a convention, I had friends visit me at conventions that were big into health and work in health, and they're like, oh yeah, if you're getting sick more than blah 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 times, it's diet related. And then he came and said hello at a convention, and he got sick. And just having that many people in a big cement bunker room, you got to plan for it. So we would plan to be sick a few days when we come back.
Yeah, you can get the lemon sip on the side and all that, and just cry in your bed for a few days.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was very worth it for me because I grew up and started CNH and was doing it for a long time in a town of 150 people in Wyoming.
Wow.
So like, I was pretty thankful for the internet and being able to learn to animate and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's like, the internet gave you just the right amount of exposure. Oh yeah, because trying to make it in a town of 150 people, that must have been crazy, right? Like, how do you get yourself out there in a place that small? Like, even in...
I grew up there, yeah. Like, I was born in California, and then my parents moved to Wyoming because I was allergic to the smog in California when I was first born.
Oh, Jesus.
So, yeah, very weird thing. And then so we ended up moving to an incredibly small town called Fort Bridger.
Yeah.
And it I never met anybody, like, even as CNH was getting bigger, I'd never met anybody who read it or like even read comics in general and stuff. So going to a convention, the San Diego Comic Convention, is where like people like Rob Dave and I first met in person after working together, and it's where I first met anybody who was even aware of it, and I didn't even fully understand the size of it until I actually got to see people. You know, we did a 2-hour signing, and there was a line, and there was it's like, okay, awesome. I'm glad that it's not all in my head.
Yeah, it's nice to have like a reassuring moment that you've done something that just like, people really care about. It's a good feeling just knowing that you've like made someone laugh or something, and just seeing that. Like, I imagine like with like the convention, just seeing all those people, it must have just been fucking mind blowing.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't stop staring people in the eyes because I wasn't used to seeing so many people.
Yeah.
And so crowds of people, I'm just looking at everyone in the eye just as they walk by. I'm not used to people.
Yeah, I'd probably get pretty nervous in that situation. I'd be like, hey, nice weather we're having. And then shake the hands, and then the next person's like, hey, nice weather we're having. Like,
yeah. But that's great because in conventions everyone's nervous, so it works out.
Yeah. I've never like I haven't done one yet. I kept putting it off. I got invited to one called how's it called? Fort Bubble. It's just in like Leeds where I am, and I was gonna do it, and then I can't remember. Something happened. I think something happened. I don't know. Something happened. I'll leave it there. I'm not going to keep repeating something happened. But yeah, something happened. I just couldn't do it. But I've always like really wanted to do one. I just like, mentally not prepared yet.
Yeah, they really refuel you. They really refuel you to have that those conversations and interactions with people. Like they were really important for us to like keep going. Since we've been doing CNH for as long as we have. Yeah, and it brings a sense of purpose to it all.
Well, you originally, like, I swear to God, I must have seen, like, your comic. You used to post it to Newgrounds originally, didn't you, as, like, just images? Is that right? Like,
I'd post them in the forums and stuff like that. It was before they allowed just the art section, before they had just the art section of Newgrounds.
Yeah, I do remember seeing your stuff on there, like, because I used to...
That's insane.
I used to use Newgrounds, was it back in... Because I think I posted my first... I don't know when I posted my first animation. I've got 2 accounts on there. One I never open up again because, we just leave that one to the pits of time. And then another one. But I do remember seeing your stuff because I used to chat to Ego Raptor back early before like he was even like before he even like creeped in with anything. Because Metal Gear Awesome was his launching. That's what made him, I think like really popular, right?
Oh yeah.
And I remember talking to him after that, saying really enjoyed it, and then he went out and then he started doing stuff like Girl Chan in Paradise, to bridge off from his Awesome series. And
probably my favorite, yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, man, just I don't know. So, it's such a crazy time to think that this is all like. There's some like weird creative route from everyone that seems to stem back to Newgrounds in some way, or they've at least got inspiration, from that era. It's
so often.
It's cool. It really is cool. I'm glad it's still surviving. Like Tom must be working his ass off because he's like obviously running Behemoth and that as well, isn't he?
Oh yeah, run Behemoth and they're doing well. They just had their 15th. Behemoth is going well. Obviously, they're making what is it? Dream Cops is a game they're working on.
Nightmare Cops, yeah.
Nightmare Cops, thank you.
Yeah.
And like what they pulled off with ActionScript and Flash and everything, making legitimate games.
I remember. You remember as well playing the absolute shit out of the like alien hominid that was on the website.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God damn.
And we're very much a part of that crowd. I mean, like the theme song to our cartoons was made by Dan Paladin.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's I Like Your Hat by Dan Paladin.
Sorry,
I was actually going to ask about your little your little intro or outro, would I say? Because you've got like a little concertino sort of. I don't know the word to describe it.
Kind of
a little
polka,
outro.
kind of like a gypsy polka in a way.
Yeah. So who in the boy band does that?
That was Dan. Yeah, that was Dan Paladin, the artist for things like Castle Crashers and a lot of the Behemoth games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Dan Paladin is. I love his style. I think he defined most of how people animate. It's the animation style on Newgrounds.
Oh yeah.
It's just his line work's fantastic.
Yeah, and they have a real snap to them where they can be really quick and then real slow and fluid if they want to be. It's great style.
Oh, God,
and this game they're making, Nightmare Cops, is that on Newgrounds as well?
It's I don't think they've been putting anything. I haven't seen anything on there. I've been seeing people doing like artwork for it and stuff. But the best way to follow it is follow Johnny Utah and that on
it's all up.
Twitter.
What's it called? I swear to God. What's his face? Shit. It's in my head. I can't. I know it. It's right fucking there.
What are you trying to think?
Yeah, that's it. Fucking. Hold on.
Wait for it.
Yeah, wait for it.
Sleepycast.
Oh right. Yeah, they all.
Yeah.
They have something on it. They do something about it.
Yes, so Sleepycast is like made up of pretty much everyone that came from Newgrounds, because it was so Johnny Utah, known as Jeff, is in Sleepycast, which he's part of. Tom's doing bits of it because Tom usually codes, doesn't he? That's his main area when it comes to video games.
He did work development,
and Oni's doing the music for it, if I recall. I don't know if he's doing all of it, but he's doing a big chunk of it. And then who else is doing work on it? They've got quite a big team. It's the smaller of the team, isn't it? Because it's their like Project B, right? Because they just finished Pit People. Was that Pit People? Yeah, it's Pit People, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, Pit like if you haven't played Pit People, play it. It's class. It's
It is. Yeah. It's excellent.
They seem to
we have a character named Ted Bear. That's Aaron Hansen who voice acts that. Then we Psychic Pebbles voice acts for us all the time. Rice Pirate Mick is a very large character in the game that we're making, and there's something about that camaraderie with Newgrounds, man. I like the things they make together and just all the sticking together. I think it's great.
It's great, honestly. I just God bless the United States of the internet. That's all I can say.
My hand's over my heart right now.
I'll go now though. But yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I think we should probably wrap this up now. It's gone. According to my thing, it's close to 2 hours, so we probably wrap it up. But it's been like absolutely class having you on, Kris. Like, it's just eye opening, and it's good to know that we all kind of have this, like, route that kind of stems back to Newgrounds. Yeah, it's. Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate you guys helping me sort out my fetishes. Yeah. And I could always talk animation and stuff, like, just cartoons in general. If you ever want me back on, just let me know.
Oh, without a doubt, man. We'll definitely have you back on at some point. But yeah, thanks again. Is there anything that you want to plug or promote at the moment?
Yeah, I'd say check out our new show, The Stockholms. You can find it on Octopi and their YouTube channel at the moment. And it's a serialized sitcom that all takes place during a bank heist. And Psychic Pibble's voice acts in that one too. And keep an eye out for Freakpocalypse, or Cyanide and Happiness video game that's coming out soon.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, canned applause.
Yeah. I'll add effects in here and stuff, and then I'll just add Psychic Pebble scream at the end.
Perfect.
Perfect, yeah. Nailed it. Well, yeah, thanks, man, for coming on. Hopefully things keep going well. Again, as I said, check out the stuff that Kris has labelled out. I'll put a link in the description for those, so you guys can just click and go check them out. And, yeah, take it easy, Kris. Stay safe. Don't breathe in all of California's drifting smoke and Colorado's and everything combined. And keep up the good fetish work.
Why, thank you, man. Such a pleasure, such an honor. Hey, only get the good bugs when you're out there licking toilet seats.
Oh, yeah, son.
Be safe.
If you ain't getting E. coli, you ain't doing it right, son. Yeah.
Amen.